Hi traders, hope you had a good weekend. This is Mike Hamilton on Sunday the 3rd of October and just going to go through the week's charts. Let's look at the dollar index first. Let's just look at the weekly because I think this is really telling the story. So from December 09 we had this big move up until first half of June this year, and once we hit this level up here in June we just sold off, pretty much selling off all the way right to the bottom of the fib zone. We tried to get to the back into the top of the play zone up here, and then we have just had a distribution pattern here and then 3 solid weeks of dropping. So we've now got very next to no support until we get down to 77.7 basically. May get a little pullback to the 79 area, but this is, after all this selling, we are heading down to these lows. So we are extended from the 8 EMA up here, but not expecting much more than a pullback to about the 79 area and then a continuation of the move to the downside. This is the S&P 500 futures market, the ES. Now look here on the daily, we're bumping up against the 127 extension all last week, but every time we came back to the 8 EMA we held and we moved up. Now on the weekly we've got a hesitant bar here. So, but all I think we're going to do is move sideways until these moving averages catch up. Because on the weekly we've got the 8 and the 20 crossed, so it's all very bullish. Plenty of room on the RSI. We're above the midline on the weekly. We are high-ish on the daily, but I think we are getting ready to bust up. Look, the close on Friday opened at Thursday's close and closed above Thursday's close. So we did engulf a good few days price action there, so I think that close on Friday was very bullish. We've got some very positive data coming through, including jobs and GDP. So I think we'll just pull back to something like 11.32, and then I would look for this to resume its uptrend. Quick look at oil. Just want to show you this monthly chart here. I went through this on my monthly review last Thursday night on September the 30th. If you missed that, drop me a line because it's free and I do it at the end of every single month. The price action last month barely matched the previous month. So we've been range bound in oil for these few months, just as we were range bound up here, stuck in a particular narrow range. Now, so we're just hitting the 200 EMA in the monthly already after just one day into the month. So we've got a lot of congestion up here, but if we can break through this 82 level, then we're going to see 85.5 pretty quick. So that means I think we are at least going to have a pullback to just under the 81 level. It's very, very strong. All pullbacks were just bought after this move, after these lows down here. And then after we get that pullback, or possibly as much as 79.80 to the top of this fib zone, and then that would be a great area to buy if we can get the entry down here. And then I think we're going to get back up to these highs at 84.5 pretty quickly. Talked about my entry down here on these lows at the monthly end review. So doing well, holding on, and let's see how we go. Okay, this is the looking at the forex market now. This is the euro versus the US. Look at this close on Friday, incredibly strong. The employment data, or unemployment data, I should say, on Europe on Friday was marginally worse, but the pullback just bought, and we just leapt up here and finished close to 138. The Germans cannot make enough cars to feed the Japanese market at the moment, and the major car manufacturers have even asked some of the workers over the summer to forego their summer holidays, and they're giving incentives, paying incentives for them to work overtime. So the Western Germany is going at a great rate. Even Eastern Germany, the GDP of Eastern Germany is even higher than the UK. So with this very, very strong market, if we can get a pullback to 136.68, I'll be a buyer of the euro, because if we can break up through the top of this weekly fib zone at the 139 area, obviously 140 is a big round number, but it looks as if we can close above here next week, pull back to 139 and continue. I mean, if we carry on this trend here, and get very shallow pullbacks with big bars, will easily potentially close up here at 141. But just bear in mind that we're very extended from the 8 EMA up here with extreme RSI at 78. So don't start leaping in this market. Just wait to see if we get a pullback. I do not buy markets that are this high. I certainly do not want to pay that high price. Pound, on the other hand, has been not as strong. Definitely not as strong. Definitely the weaker of the two parties. A hesitant bar in the weekly. So, but this close on Friday was a close above the Wednesdays and Thursdays price action. So it is strong. It is holding up. And if I can get a pullback to 157.85 area, I'll be a buyer and see if I can. I think it will eventually get up to 167 with this weak dollar. The dollar is just in free fall at the moment, expecting a pullback as mentioned. But I think we're just going to wait for the 8 EMA to come across in the weekly. 8 EMA is right down there at 156.20. So, but don't be surprised if we get down that low. But these moving averages are coming through the 50, just waiting for the 20 to come through the 50 on the weekly, and then we resume the uptrend. The only other one I'm interested in is Euro Aussie dollar. This has made a 50 EMA break, so this is a really nice setup. As we said, the Euro is incredibly strong. The Aussie dollar, on the other hand, is very extended and looks as if it wants to come back. So a move back to support. Look at all the support here at 141.38 on the Euro Aussie dollar, and it's got plenty of room in the RSI, and we may even get back to 148 on the Euro Aussie dollar. Weekly, so these corresponding figures pattern out very nicely on the weekly. We've closed above the 8. So we have 3 weeks of buying, so pull back to 141 area, and we should be able to close above the 20 EMA at 143.23 this week. No other significant entries. A lot of the other forex markets have made their move. Incredibly strong euro pound, as you'd expect, which I'm a little bit unhappy about because I do like travelling to France quite a lot. But never mind. But no other setups to note. This is the Aussie US dollar. You can see the daily is very extended. All pullbacks to the 8 are bought. A little bit hesitant up there, but it's still very strong. But the weekly has still not given the colour change in the RSI, so there is plenty of scope for this to move to the upside. But if you're not in it, my suggestion is you stand aside, because you do not want to buy an instrument that is this highly priced. US dollar CAD was interesting. Massive sell-off on Friday. A pullback to 1024 could be a good place to get short. But if you are not an experienced forex trader, I would stand aside. So I'm just looking for a pullback in the Euro US, a pullback in the pound US dollar, and otherwise the only other currency for me is the Euro Aussie dollar. Hope that helps. Email me any questions. I had a lot of inquiries about trading oil. It's a very specialist market. I have put on a short course to teach that as a specialist subject. If you're interested, email me. There are certain requirements that I'm looking for before I take people on, because it's not for everybody. Unless you're an intermediate or an advanced trader, I do not recommend you trade oil. But email me if you're interested, and let's look forward to a good week. Happy trading, everybody. Goodbye.